Meanwhile, it appears that there is simply no end to the woes of the Bitcoin exchange FTX, and more skeletons are coming out of the closet now. Now, some experts are calling the crash of the crypto exchange FTX the beginning of a kind of a Lehman financial crisis moment of 2008 for digital assets globally, which is over $1 trillion market. The reports say that at least about $1 billion of customer funds have vanished from the collapsed crypto exchange FTX. And the exchange's founder, Sam Bankman-Fried, secretly transferred nearly about $10 billion worth of customer funds from FTX to Bankman-Fried's trading company, Alameda Research. The U.S. Securities and Exchange Commission is investigating FTX.com's handling of the customer funds as well as the crypto lending activities. The earlier crypto exchange FTX filed for U.S. bankruptcy protection, and its founder, Sam Bankman-Fried, resigned as the chief executive. The biggest blow-up in the crypto industry has also drawn calls for tighter regulation. The distressed crypto trading platform FTX has struggled to raise billions to stave off the collapse as traders rushed to withdraw nearly about $6 billion from the platform in under 72 hours. The deal failure with rival exchange Binance of a proposed rescue lead led to this crash of the FTX crypto exchange. It was a bit of an abrupt fall from grace for a company that was once the darling of the crypto industry. FTX had raised nearly about $400 million from investors in the month of January, who valued the company at a staggering $32 billion. Now, the FTX crisis has sent reverberations through the crypto world, with the price of major coins plummeting. Now, the week's turmoil also hit the already struggling cryptocurrency market, sending Bitcoin to a two-year low. Bitcoin dropped after FTX's announcement and was down by almost about 4.3% and is now said to be trading in the region of about $16,800 odd. The shares of cryptocurrency and blockchain-related firms have also dropped in the aftermath of this news. All right, now to give us more insight in terms of why is there a meltdown happening in the crypto world and how is this FTX crisis likely to impact the future of cryptocurrencies? We're being joined by Ajit Khurana, who is the founder of Reflexical and also the former head of Blockchain and Cryptocurrency Committee of India. Now, Mr. Khurana, this of course is a big moment in the world of cryptocurrencies, and all those people who had said that cryptocurrencies will be unregulated and these will be a new mode of in fact transacting, which will revolutionize the way we see money. But looking at what has happened, it appears that the problem with crypto is the fact that it was unregulated, and people are now asking that there needs to be more regulation now.
You're absolutely right. In fact, what has happened here is that while we are all rightly blaming FTX for touching its customers' funds, because obviously it's not theirs to touch, the fact is that there was no regulation governing them which said they couldn't. So here, this is something that is unacceptable, even in general, principle of natural justice. Going forward, there will be more regulation. The short term looks bad, but the long term is still present.
Interesting that you say the long term still looks pleasant, but the question that I want to ask you is this. Now, what has happened is that the FTX, which is an exchange, appears to have shifted the currency and money of its customers into the private account of the founder. This is something that is really serious, which for a lot of people who would want to invest in cryptocurrencies, they would now look at it and they would say, this can happen to pretty much anyone.
So it does not necessarily have to be so. If you give your tokens, cryptocurrencies, whatever you call them, crypto assets, to a centralized exchange which one or more people control, you are right, it could happen. But there are two alternatives. Number one, there is an exchange called Coinbase, which probably is the most valued exchange. It is listed in the US, governed by the SEC, and largest and one of the oldest. They go through a very different level of scrutiny. So first, please deal with somewhat regulated entities, because completely regulated entities don't exist. Second, you could go decentralized, where your assets are never with any third party.
It's interesting that the very premise, the argument that is made for cryptocurrencies is the fact that they say that there will not be government control on these currencies. But now, in the aftermath of what has happened with FTX, what we are looking at is customers who are now turning around and saying that, look, if there is no government regulation and if there is no control in terms of how these exchanges actually behave, then this means that the customers' funds are in fact at risk of being swindled off. So this means that cryptocurrencies per se are not really as safe as what they earlier claimed to be?
Here is the thing. We have to distinguish between the asset, the technology everybody seems to love, the asset and service providers. Service providers are people like software providers, exchanges, wallets, etc. And frankly, I see no reason to trust them, certainly not trust them blindly. If you look at what has happened, it is one person or one set of people who have been malintent.
That means, because anyone who wants to get into the crypto market needs a service, a wallet, or one of these exchanges through which they get into the crypto market. That means crypto market has a lot of issues through which people can actually end up losing money. And if there's no government regulation, then this is not a safe market.
So I think I'm not speaking against regulation for sure. In fact, I have dealt with Indian authorities as well as authorities in other countries and helped them form regulation, or at least try. Having said that, it is possible that you do not ever need to store your assets with any other service provider. Crypto, one of the greatest things about blockchain technology is that it can be self-custodied.
All right, very interesting. Now, my last question to you, Mr. Khurana, is this. Looking at what has happened in terms of FTX and also the meltdown in the cryptocurrency market's valuation, how badly do you think this will dent the confidence of people who want to invest in cryptocurrencies?
Over the last 3 days or so, since this has blown up, I have heard of a lot of people who were in crypto who said never again. But then I reminded them that just a few months ago, when the Terra Luna crash had occurred, not as big, but as significant, they had told me the same thing. So I think that, yes, there is a lack of confidence. I think that especially for new people who are not yet in crypto, this can be a huge impediment to enter. But I also hope that with time, we will regard this as an action of a bad actor.
All right, we'll have to leave it there. Thank you very much indeed, Mr. Khurana, for joining us and getting us all those insights there. WION is now available in your country. Download the app now and get all the news on the move.